What can we learn from the Diddy trial and the final verdict? Well, let's get right into this. So if you don't know what's going on, the Diddy trial is essentially over with, where bro got found not guilty on the RICO, the racketeering, and the SEX trafficking. But he got found guilty on the prostitution, you know what I'm saying, and all that, you know what I mean? So essentially, some people are saying, bro, beat the RICO, he beat the feds, right? Of course, there are a lot of reaction from multiple celebrities, right? Of course, his family.
Everybody watching. God bless. God bless. Switching it up. I fill you up like this drink in my cup. Ass so fast, she toss it, make it jump. She throw it back at me, dropping my blunt. I get paid and stuff. Pull up off the whip in the front.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
So happy. Big fan from Sweden.
Thank you. We appreciate all the love. Diddy's free. Let's go. Diddy's free. Spread the word.
How are you feeling?
Great.
Yeah?
Friends, yes! Thank you so much, beautiful love.
$50, Young Miami, and so on.
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. Like, and I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this for people, you know, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this for hip-hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, you know. And people always, Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about 7 children. Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who been in my kid's position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child. Like I've been said,
oh my God.
The jury did
not guilty on Cassie, not guilty on RICO. No way that Jane is going to be guilty.
There was a video, of course, where he was.
Oh, this makes me physically ill.
Lobby.
Sure.
And, you know, the prosecution strategy with showing that video, or with knowing that video was going to be shown to the jury, was, well, domestic abuse did
Wolf
happen.
is silent.
They said, look, domestic abuse happened, but
Wolf
there
is
was no sex
silent.
Right.
there was no racketeering, and it seems like the jury.
If we're talking about count 2 here, the forcible sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura, that means the jury has concluded there was
Cassie
force
probably feels
or
so
fraud
horrible.
Or coercion involved in that. It could still be that the jury finds,
Ronnie.
yes, a person
I'm gonna
was
vomit.
moved across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. Yes. That's count 3.
Okay, I'm
which
getting
maybe
some other
we have
news.
Oh, please.
Now, what do I think this means for, well, everybody else? You're talking about everybody else. The supporters were outside going wild with baby oil. All right, so what does this mean for everybody else, man? To me personally, what this means for guys or women, relationship dating, just in general, people are gonna be more careful, right? You know what I'm saying? The usual thing is, a lady says something and the courts kind of just take it and go with it off the rip. Now, people might see that it might be, because when we looked at the situation and looked at a couple of things, of course, at the beginning of this whole thing, a lot of people were like, oh, Diddy's going down. But once the courts start going on, we start seeing some evidence and some stuff, and everyone's like, yo, like, this girl seemed like, these people seem like, it just seems like a bad relationship. Of course, Diddy is a deviant. He's a, he definitely abused, all that good stuff, but this is not what they told us was going to be, the issue. So now, after seeing all this, I think people are beginning to learn right now, like, yo, first of all, don't send nobody, don't be sending if you feel rich celebrity, don't be sending folks money, bro, because, flying them across, all that, how all these, rappers and artists like to mess with scripters and all that good stuff, bartenders. At this point, I think guys would have learned from this, they might be more careful about stuff like that. This is what I think. Of course, as I said, towards the whole incident or situation of a woman says something and everybody kind of just takes a woman's word for it, this one also might teach us, maybe we might need to look further more into this situation. Now, nobody's saying guilt. I mean, I don't think anybody's saying Diddy is like an innocent person. Like, he definitely has some crimes he committed. We've seen that video. You know what I'm saying? He whooped. Oh, you know what I mean? But what people are basically trying to say is that for what they said he did and all the RICO-ness and you know what I mean? And of course, that's rubbing some people the wrong way. Talking about a bruise and all that why they gonna let a bruise out and people are not saying Diddy is a good guy. You know what I'm saying? People just saying, bro, they spun this thing to make it seem like this man was doing some crazy stuff, but when we see the proof, it looked like, there was a lot of compliance from the other side. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Now, what that mean? Personally, I think this means that guys, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You're gonna need to be careful. You know what I mean? You're gonna need to be on your P's and Q's when you're in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Most guys, who knows? Maybe guys might not be spending money on ladies no more. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Of course, the freaky-ish and all the extra-ish, all that thing that rappers are loving to do, at this point, I think guys will start being more careful, watching out like, yo, I don't know. When she said you send the money so I can come over, fly her over, all that good, I don't think guys gonna be flying, all them rich folks ain't gonna be flying people over no more. Maybe, maybe not, you know what I'm saying? But in this situation, I think it definitely kind of raised a lot of eyebrows and, makes people rethink now some things that used to be normal back in the day, or they used to be normal most of the time, like for the rich. You know what I'm saying? For us, regular folks or people that's not got it like that, most of these things, and you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be doing any of these things anyway, you know what I'm saying? The freakiness, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? Anybody touching on that. So this whole Diddy situation, just being completely 100, man, you know what I mean? I definitely think it's gonna be a lesson to, all the people that, ladies and guys as well, especially when it comes to dating. I think that the lesson right there is all the things y'all used to do before that y'all thought was, part of the game might not be part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? For the broke guys, maybe they might be thinking, bro, I ain't spending no money. I ain't buying her no drink. I ain't buying her this. She gonna have to buy her own stuff. Before she said I laced it, I bought it. Who knows, bro? But for me, you know what I'm saying? And of course, respect, everybody that needs respect. As I said, we don't think Diddy is a saint or anything. We definitely feel that, bro, he did some crimes, but you know what I'm saying? He needs to, suffer them crimes, but we don't think it was to the magnitude of the thing. Because if you remember when I was reacting to all this stuff, a similar thing. When we first heard it, I was like, whoa. Then going further in, we like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? It seems like a shitty boyfriend, a shitty human being, but not per se a RICO guy, you know what I'm saying? Not, you know what I'm saying? Not you know what I mean? But what do I know, bro? Like, me personally, I'm just reacting to this, seeing it, from my perspective. I'm not claiming that I know all things. I'm just thinking that this might be there to teach a lot of individuals, especially the rich, you know what I'm saying, that love to pay for puss, pay for women, do it. It might be able to teach y'all a lesson, bro. At any time, they can turn that, oh, you paid for it, into, hey, you paid for some puss. And now it could be, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, but, you know what I'm saying? Prayers to bro, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, from right now when I'm doing this video, I don't know if the verdict is gone for him to go home the exact same day. I know they were deliberating on it because different lawyers were basically talking about, whether they should let him out or they should not and all that good stuff. I don't know how that's going with that. But what I do know is that there's a lesson here that needs to be learned. You know what I'm saying? And as I also said, I don't think that he is a saint. He ain't no innocent nigga, you know what I mean? He definitely committed some crimes. But the magnitude at which they made it seem, clearly not. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it might not sit well with a lot of people, but that's not the issue because people always have something to say regardless. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it's good, bad, ugly, you know what I'm saying? Once someone says their mind one way, if he shows up another way, they don't change their mind automatically just because of that. You know what I'm saying? Most people are kind of stuck in their ways mentally, you know what I'm saying? So who knows? But y'all can let me know what y'all think. I might be wrong, I might be right. Who really give a fuck? You know what I'm saying? I'm just sharing my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Peace and blessings.
Almighty push. My one storm, you know that's also needs a lesson. Now that it's so